What's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the stocks that I bought today on a Thursday. I deposited $100 into my taxable M1 Finance brokerage account, my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. And what I do is every week I do two buys. On Mondays, what I do is I deposit $100 and then I let M1 do the picking. What I mean by that is based upon my allocations within my portfolio, the $100 is going to go into what is underweighted. For example, the underweighted portions right now are right here in the ETFs, and also this portion of 12 more dividends is a little bit underweighted. But today I picked 5 stocks and I put $20 into each of those. So if you're new to the channel, I recommend that you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future videos, and also please click the like button because I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to provide you guys full transparency into what I'm doing to build a replicable dividend portfolio, one that spits off cash like a perpetual money making machine. And let's just take a look at the performance over the last year of the portfolio, because I'm not just trying to make income from this portfolio, I'm also trying to grow it as far as, the share price. I want things that go up in value as well, and not something that just pays a high dividend today and is stagnant. I also want stocks that are in the portfolio that increase their dividends year over year. So you can see over the last year, even though we've had kind of a little bit of a downturn and a little bit of a recovery, we're still up 8.53%. But when you include the dividends in there, look at that, 14.3% over the last year. Let's go at the last 3 months. Let's take a look at that. It's been really flat. So even during a flat market, though, I'm receiving those dividends as income. And then over the last month, you can see this is where most of this has been the drop, with the all-time highs pretty much at February 20th. And we've gone down to the 265s, and we're now into the 270s back again. So I probably have to change my thumbnail to reflect a 270K portfolio. We'll see if I change that, because who knows, next month it could go back in the 260s, or we could be back into the 280s. We just don't know where we're going day to day, week to week, month to month with this portfolio, or just the stock market. And that's why I chose to create a dividend portfolio, because I wanted to have income, because really it all depends on your income. If you can replace your current income, it gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility. And with just how volatile the stock market is, when you have just reliable income, that is very powerful. So let's go into the activity log. We'll see what those stocks were. Again, these are 5 that I chose myself on Mondays. M1 kind of does the picking. So first up was American Express. I'm going to click on each of these and show you the fractional shares that I bought with each of these. We're also going to go to my Google Docs spreadsheet, and we're going to see what the next dividends are going to be, and also just how the portfolio, how it's going to be paying more and more every month. And we'll go over some historicals as well as my other investments. This is about 15% of my current net worth in this dividend portfolio. I'll show you what the other 85% is. So here we go with American Express. That $20 that bought 0.07412 of a fractional share of American Express. But even that small amount is going to move the needle. I'll show you proof of that in a little bit. So JP Morgan up next with $20, and that bought 0.08408 of a share of JP Morgan. And then Costco, that $20 bought tiny fraction of 0.02219 of a share of Costco, and every little bit helps. And I've been buying Costco for years, and just in little tiny increments. And every time that Costco pays its dividend, or you see that share appreciation, I'm never sorry for buying Costco. And especially when they announce that special dividend every 2 or 3 years, Costco does a special dividend, and it's a huge one compared to the normal quarterly dividend. I'll show you that in a moment when we go to my Google Docs spreadsheet. And then next up, Lowe's for $20. That bought 0.08884 of a share of Lowe's. And then next up, Apple. That bought 0.09359 of a share of Apple. And most of these are going to be low dividend payers. JP Morgan and Lowe's are going to pay a higher in the twos somewhere, but like American Express pays a 1%. I think Costco pays less than a 1%. I know Apple pays less than 1%. So it's not going to move the needle a whole lot, but there's good growth with these, with American Express, Costco, and Apple as of late. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump on over to my Google Docs spreadsheet. I'll leave a link for that below. I'll also leave a link below so you can see what's in this dividend portfolio over at M1 Finance. It'll show you all the stocks and as well as the percent allocation that I have for each of those. So I'll just walk you through this Google Docs spreadsheet, and it shows the company, the ticker symbol. It pulls the share price using a Google Finance function, so I don't have to get updates all the time at M1. I can just go to the sheet and see it live. And here's the average cost that I bought into each of these. JP Morgan is one of those where I bought a fractional share of. So you can see my average share price for JP Morgan. Here's the number of shares that's going to go up slightly with that fractional share buy. Here's the value if I were to share all my JP Morgan or sell my JP Morgan shares. And then here's the cost basis for those. And here would be the gain or loss, including dividends if I were to sell. And then here is my gain or loss in a percentage. Anything above 25% will be in green. And then, of course, anything that is a loss, you can see with Hershey's, will be in the red there. And here's the current yield that I'm buying fractional shares of JP Morgan. They're going to be at that 2.08% approximately. Here's the yield on my cost because I've bought JP Morgan an average of 152.08. Of course, that's going to go up because we're buying fractional shares at that 240 price. Here is the pay date. Everything on this sheet is arranged by the pay date. And we'll take a look at the positions that I paid a dividend so far in March. We'll just do a quick count up of those. And these are in the green. So we are in the last month of the quarter. So we're in the dark greens here. Starting with the Kroger, we'll do a quick count up. And then to the last dividend that paid me, which were McDonald's and Duke. And so far, let's see if I have that right. Yeah, I've received a total of $237.49, and we have some heavy hitters coming up with SCHD. I believe SCHD is going to announce their next dividend, and it's going to lower this next dividend I'm predicting with SCHD. And then BST, that one at the end of the month is going to hit. And that reminds me, with the last two that paid, let me show you really quickly back to the activity log. There were two buys in here because I received the Duke and McDonald's dividends in here. And let me go ahead and show you those two buys right here. So with Duke, these are dividend drips, and it's going to make the next dividend for Duke and McDonald's go up. So this was not a deposit. It was a dividend received and then drip back into the portfolio. So at $14.96, that bought 0.12432 of a share of Duke Energy. And then McDonald's next up, that dividend drip bought 0.04609 of a share of McDonald's. So we'll go back to this sheet, and you can see with those drips, I received the 1402, but then the next dividend for McDonald's will be 1410, and that will be in June, middle of June approximately. And then that Duke dividend of 1496 is going to make the next dividend go up to 1509. So you can see those dividend drips just kind of increase the next dividend. Also, stock buys that I do, like these today, as well as when there's dividend increases that are announced. But let's just take a look at the dividends received so far, and then we'll compare it to what the next ones are going to be. So that 237.49, And then it's going to be next time, just with those drips, it's going to be 239.95. So you can see the power of those dividend drips are going to increase the next dividend. But again, there's two other forces that move it, and that's the dividend increases annually that most of these do, as well as the fractional share buys that I'm doing. So what I've done is I've put in the current dividend, like for JP Morgan, 844 is what it's going to be at the end of April. I'm adding 3 months to these, and then May 6th approximately for those. You can see what we're going to do is we're going to import some data in here from M1, and we're going to show the change. I'm going to go to the holdings tab, grab everything from the name column, go down, and it's going to grab 3 pieces of data and import them into the sheet. And those are the new number of shares, the average price, and the cost basis. And just by automatically pasting this into my M1 data tab, it's going to update these. I'm using VLOOKUPs is all I'm doing to pull the shares. I'll show you. There's a VLOOKUP for the shares and the cost basis and also the average. See that? It's doing a VLOOKUP from the M1 data tab. Let's go ahead and paste in that data into the M1 data tab, do a paste special values only. It's going to go into the A column and align the shares, cost basis, and average for each position. And we're going to go back over to the dividend portfolio because it's going to automatically update that. And we're going to see those changes. We're going to go through those one by one just to show you the incremental change. Even these $20 buys are going to significantly change the next dividend. Even though it's by pennies in some cases, it all adds up. And first up, JP Morgan, we're moving from a dividend of 844 now to 855, and then Lowe's from 771 to 781, and then Apple, you can see in this case we have a really low yield at 0.46%, but it's still moving the needle at 2 cents from 381 to 383. So baby steps with Apple, same with Costco too, at a 0.51% dividend yield. But we're moving from 310 to 313, so adding 3 cents. But let me show you something real quick. We can look at the dividend history, the 310, 313. But look back here. Here is the last special dividend. I think it was last year. So probably next year we'll get something like this. It paid $35.69. So when you average in that special dividend for Costco, it's a much higher dividend yield than 0.51%. So we'll go down here and we'll get the last one, which is American Express. So from $5.97 now on May 10th, we'll receive $6.03. So we're above the $6 mark there with American Express, and that one's a smaller yield or two. It was JP Morgan at 2% and Lowe's. Those two are the quote higher yielders, but they have good growth with these. We can take a look at Lowe's, how that's been a good grower. Same with, look, especially JP Morgan at 63%, and some of these other ones that may be lower payers, but they are better growers. Like an Apple, that one's been a good grower for me as well. And then Costco, almost 100% growth for me as well. We'll take a look at American Express at 61%. So these ones, even though while they don't pay a high dividend today, they are growing for me in appreciation as well as increases. Look at what American Express announced for their last dividend increase, 15%. So that's where I'm going to get my gains at over time. With a smaller dividend over the next decade, this is going to be much larger. So let's take a look at the cash flow average for the portfolio, and we'll see how this $100 deposit and these fractional buys, how it has increased over the monthly, quarterly, and annual. So the monthly is moving from $1,048.38 to $1,048.49. So small move there. It'll be a little bit bigger for quarterly, moving from $31.45.14 to $31.45.46. And then we can see a little bit bigger push in the annual from $12,580.58 to $12,581.86. So we're going to take this amount, the $1048.49, and put it into the monthly average dividend tracking tab. On that tab, I track all buys, sells, and dividend increases, as well as dividend drips, because it changes my cash flow average. And we'll take that 1,048.49 and we'll put that in the bottom. It looks like we have to add an event because we had this buy. So what we'll do is we'll put the date in. And we got the starting monthly average there, dividend, and then we'll get that because of course I forgot it. So it's 1048.49. We'll put that in there, 1048.49. So a small move because again, we bought positions that pay a lower dividend. But again, that's okay because those positions, they grow as far as share price. There's a good appreciation there and also good dividend raises as well. So I'm not just into buying, the high dividend yielders and just trying to increase my dividend income that way. I want growth long term as well as dividend payers for today as well. I have Verizons in my dividend portfolio. I've got BST to cover all that. So we're good there. So this is more of a growth play. So there we go. That was the event, the $100 deposit. You can see here with the Duke and McDonald's dividend drip, that moved the needle by 7 cents. You can see it was pretty close to the $100 deposit and not new money. It was just the dividends that were received. And then you can see other things like here was the $100 deposit with other dividend drips, and that really moved the needle more because that's $100 went to BST, which pays an over 8% dividend yield. So you can see sometimes I have moved the needle a little bit more, and some days I have lower instances where that deposit didn't really go too far in that regard. Same here over here with buying probably more growth in here. We have dividend drips in here, and then like American Express's their dividend increase alone that produced more than both of these events combined. Just with American Express with a 29 cents change right there with a dividend increase. You can see what's moving the needle there. But so we're going to have an event likely today, later, or tomorrow with SCHD to see if they've announced that new dividend, which I'm predicting it's going to be a lot lower. I'm thinking it's going to be about 20 cents, and I'm probably being a little bit, pessimistic on that. So let's put that in there. We'll put the 0.20 in there and see the change. So that's probably on the low side, the 727.29. We'll see what it is, but I'll do a video on that and show you what effect that's going to have because I also have a lot of shares of SCHD in an IRA as well, and I'll show you what effect that's going to have on my next dividends. So let's go ahead and we'll close out the video. We'll go to my total net worth statement really quickly, and I'll show you what the other 85% of my net worth is in. You can see at Vanguard, I have a significant portion of my net worth over there at 461K. In IRA, Roth, IRA, taxable brokerage account, they're all in boring ETFs like VTI, VU, VTSAX, VXUS, things like that. And here's my current employer, 401k. It's all in S&P 500, and it's at 98K. And then over at M1, I have a traditional brokerage account over there in IRA, and this is valued right now at 684K. And then you can see over the portion of SCHD, I have over 5,600 shares of SCHD in this brokerage account over here in this IRA. And then here is the dividend portfolio that we went into at length. And then here is my 1-year emergency fund. Here is my 6-month emergency fund over at Synchrony. And then here's my 2 months of spending over here. I have another checking account over here trying to get some bonuses doing my direct deposits over there. I'll keep you guys posted when I get those bonuses. Here is my home value. And then here's the liabilities. US bank card as well as my FNBO card. And I pay these off before they're due so I don't accrue interest. And then here is my other liability with my mortgage, which I am paying extra payments on, extra $700 per month to try to wipe that out a little bit quicker. Here's my total net worth right now, right at the 1.75 million mark. And then here's my average monthly dividend, right at $3,500. And that is the sum of everything, the dividends and interest of all of my investments. So if I were 59 and a half, I would be eligible to draw this and not pull a single dollar out of savings or sell a single share. I could just live off of interest and dividends, and that is what I'm intending to do here soon. So here's the breakdown between stocks, home equity, and cash. And then here it is divided between pre-tax and after-tax, US and international. So that's all I had for this video. We'll go back to the buys real quick. And let me know in the comments below what you guys are buying to close out this week and what you think about these picks, because these are my picks and what I decided to kind of bolster up my dividends in just buy more fractional shares in these positions because I believe in them long term. So thanks everybody for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. And again, my next video will likely be the SCHD Q1 dividend announcement, which is coming soon. Thanks again, everyone. I hope everyone has a great day, and everyone take care.